Atlanta News First Plus starts now with breaking news.
Thank you for joining us here at the First Alert Desk. This is Catch Up Quick, and let's get you caught up on the stories we are following in and around Metro Atlanta, starting with this scene right here. Breaking news that we are following as gun violence continues throughout the weekend and overnight into Monday. 2 men now in the hospital. One of them rushed into emergency surgery following a shooting. Atlanta News First Don Shipman is at Grady Memorial with the latest on their condition.
We're still waiting to hear back from Atlanta police on their conditions, but we know that paramedics rushed both victims here to Grady Memorial, one of them going into emergency surgery. This right here is where the shooting happened in southwest Atlanta. This is Fairburn Road. Police say someone shot 2 men in their 20s. Doctors rushed one into surgery overnight. Investigators had that whole area cordoned off, that apartment complex, for several hours. This happened inside the 3390 apartments in the 3300 block of Fairburn Road. The shooting follows several shootings from over the weekend in Atlanta. Someone shot a woman in her foot in the Peachtree Center district. Someone shot an unhoused man multiple times while he slept on McDaniel Street. Someone shot another man in that same area. Police believe it happened during a drug deal. Someone killed a man in a shooting along Allison Court in southwest Atlanta. Police say the shootings are not connected, but it kept detectives busy throughout the weekend and overnight into this morning. For that shooting that happened overnight, police have yet to announce any arrests. We're outside Grady Memorial Hospital. Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.
Thank you, Don, for that report. Now we're getting new information from Georgia State Patrol saying it was a road rage incident that led to a man's death on I-75 Saturday night. This was the scene around 11 p.m. just before Northside Drive. GSP says a sedan and Ford were involved in a road rage when the sedan allegedly hit the Ford. Both cars then stopped on the shoulder, and when the drivers got out, they started shooting at each other. That's when police say the driver of the sedan fell into the interstate and it was hit by another car. That car allegedly drove off. Now, soon after, an Atlanta police officer ended up hitting the driver too while in a patrol vehicle. We're still piecing together the details as information becomes available, but a lot of you we saw on social media and interacting with us said that you were caught up in this traffic and it lasted well into the night. So as soon as we get any additional information about the drivers and the vehicles involved, we will let you know on air and online here at Atlanta News First. All right, let's talk a little more nationally. The government shutdown now in its 20th day, still having significant local impacts, and with no end in sight between Republicans and Democrats. Those impacts are being felt right here at the world's busiest airport. Atlanta News First Niamani Watson is at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, where federal employees are continuing to work without pay.
It is a busy morning here at the airport. Things started picking up around 6 a.m. Officials say operations are running as usual, but because of the shutdown, we are seeing more and more staffing shortages at airports. So far, 10 FAA facilities have reported air traffic control shortages. This includes centers that control high-altitude traffic around Atlanta. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy previously said during a press conference that some workers are calling out sick because they are no longer getting paid. Meanwhile, many families are at risk of losing food assistance if the shutdown continues. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins says there will not be enough funding to provide SNAP benefits for 40 million Americans come November 1st. The shutdown also taking a toll on small businesses across the country. Atlanta News First spoke with former Republican Senator and Small Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler, who says many businesses will default on their loans without help from SBA. She is blaming the Democrats for this shutdown, and of course, Democrats are blaming Republicans.
It means that over 300 small businesses each and every day will not be able to close on their small business loan. That's aggregate funding of about $175 million a day that's not flowing into Main Street to hire and create those opportunities.
These threats to try to back us off our position, it's not working and it's not going to happen, because there is a Republican healthcare crisis that is devastating the American people, and we're going to continue to stand up for everyday Americans.
Here in Atlanta, city leaders have provided meal vouchers and free parking at the airport for TSA agents. At Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, I'm Niamani Watson, Atlanta News First.
And thank you to Niamani for that report. All right, I want to talk a little bit about a story that we are following this morning. Police are investigating after a 58-year-old woman was found dead at a Cobb County hotel. This happened Sunday morning around 11:30. This is the location of the Extended Stay America Hotel on Powers Ferry Road in Marietta. Her family has been notified. The circumstances surrounding her death are still under investigation, and as soon as we get any of those details, we will be sure to let you know. All right, this is a more interesting story. I wanted to ask all of you who join me here morning after morning, if you could have your fast food even faster, would you consider this? Atlanta-based Chick-fil-A is now testing a new temperature-controlled vending machine. It's set up at the Children's Hospital of Georgia in Augusta, so you won't find chicken sandwiches inside. Instead, you can order things like a cool wrap, a veggie wrap, or 2 flavors of waffle potato chips. The goal is to provide convenient meal options for hospital workers and visitors. The vending machine still won't be open on Sundays, as is true for Chick-fil-A. And I want to ask First Alert Meteorologist Isaac Williams here with me right before we get into the forecast. What do you think? Is this the future for fast food, where we're going towards vending machines now?
I don't know, because I thought that like the kiosk that they put in the stores, that you order through, and I thought that was like the next big thing. But the fact that there's no chicken sandwiches in there, I understand.
Is it a deal breaker?
That, they could go bad or whatever, room temperature stuff. But otherwise, yeah, I think that's great for hospital workers.
Well, until we start seeing vending machines left and right here with your fast food, there's another reason to step outside and maybe enjoy a meal and enjoy the outdoors. I'm going to give you a live picture right now of downtown Atlanta. You're looking at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. First Alert meteorologist Isaac Williams stepping into the driver's seat now to talk about your First Alert forecast.
Yes, and you saw Maria wearing a jacket, and I'm sure many of you did need that as well this morning. And I think we're going to need that going forward a good bit this week, as we are looking at a pretty good cool down coming up in the next few days. So we can thank high pressure for that across the area. This morning we see that cloudless sky, and we're going to continue to see that throughout the course of the day today, thanks to high pressure that's building in. It is right over North Georgia, and it brought us the coolest morning that we have seen in months around here. In fact, 6 months, and we haven't seen temperatures down in the 40s at the airport. And we can thank that cold front that moved through yesterday, the high pressure bringing in the cooler air this morning, and then the next cold front that is in the picture is moving through Kansas and Iowa. But this next front, though, that's coming in tomorrow, as we'll see on First Alert Futurecast, it is not going to bring us hardly any rain, but it's not a 0% chance. Again, as I mentioned the last time that the temperature dropped below 50 at the airport in Atlanta, April 16th. So it has been 187 days since that has occurred. And we're going to see that happen, I think, a couple of more times this week. In fact, 2 to 3 more times that we see that happen later on this week in the Super 7-day. Highs in the upper 60s to low 70s today. And you notice in the corner there, the normal high is 73. The temperature we're going with today is 73. We have not seen a whole lot of normal in the forecast recently. It's been a little too warm, and we've also seen drier than usual weather, and that has led to, obviously, drought expanding across North Georgia. Tomorrow's front, as I mentioned, it is very moisture-starved, but there is a chance a couple showers will pop up. But other than that, we're looking at pretty bleak rain chances, a brief increase in cloud coverage, and then we're going to see yet another drop in temperature by midweek tomorrow, or midweek Wednesday and Thursday. But we will see possibly some wind tomorrow, maybe a 20-mile-per-hour wind gust, not as gusty as what we saw Sunday afternoon and evening, but it is something that we will continue to watch in terms of a little bit of a noticeable breeze tomorrow. We're also watching the tropics. We have an area of low pressure here in the Eastern Caribbean. The National Hurricane Center giving this an 80% chance of development in the next week, a 50% chance of development in the next 48 hours. So we may see a tropical depression by Wednesday. I think that by the latest Thursday, most likely, and this is going to slow down a little bit into the next few days. You can see computer models want to kind of take this across the island of Hispaniola and reemerge it into the Atlantic. We're not sold on that just yet because the European model, which is traditionally pretty good at this type of thing, is wanting to kind of hang this system around in the Caribbean. This is next Monday, Tuesday. This is not tomorrow. This is next Tuesday that we see this storm system sort of lingering about. So we're going to have all week to kind of watch it and see what it does. Historically, late October storms do recurve and do not strike the United States, but that is not set in stone. And we'll continue to keep you posted here on ANF Plus, inside the First Alert Weather app, and of course on Atlanta News First on television. Here's the airport this morning. Not a cloud in the sky, and we're going to continue to see blue sky and sunshine throughout the day today. Temperatures have recovered. We're up to 63 in Atlanta, upper 50s in LJ, 61 in Rome, but we're still in the upper 50s in Carrollton, so this chill is slowly wearing off. Here's the 7-day forecast I mentioned. 73 today, plenty of sunshine. 80 tomorrow, so we're not done with a little bit of a warmer afternoon just yet, but behind the front, we go back to 73 on Wednesday, and notice Wednesday night and Thursday night and tonight, we may have 3 more nights here and mornings of temperatures similar to what we had this morning. And then going into the weekend, clouds increase, and right now we are looking at a chance at some showers potentially returning there on Sunday. But this is pretty common of mid to late October, near normal temperatures both during the morning and afternoon.
Thank you for watching ANF Plus. For more breaking news, live coverage, and your community stories, download the Atlanta News First app. You can also watch us on YouTube, Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. To join the conversation on YouTube Live, visit our channel and hit subscribe. You can also listen to the Atlanta News First podcast by searching Atlanta News First on your preferred listening platform.